Hello, I'm Bex and I'm a director of photography.
Hi, I'm Gabi Norland, I'm a director of photography.
A director of photography is, I guess I head up the camera and lighting department.
Camera, lighting, a good team around me. Those are the basic tools.
We'll talk about the ideas with the director, and on that basis we make decisions on what cameras we use, what sort of lenses we think are appropriate for the job, and how we might light it.
Music videos are, however, they're usually shot over a very long day, quite often at 8 in the morning until midnight, which some people find very difficult to deal with.
So I'll work closely with what we call a gaffer, who's in charge of the lighting department. If we're shooting in the studio, we'll design a lighting plan around an idea or a schedule. And if we're on location, then we'll work out how we can power everything and achieve the best look given the restrictions of a budget.
Whether that story is just the artist is performing in a place or whether the story is an actual narrative. But normally you only have a day to do everything that you've planned to do.
I'll generally only use maybe 2 or 3 lights to light an artist. Sometimes that multiplies when you have a band, for example, or a girl group in front of you where there's 5 girls that you have to light. So, the budget goes up. You've got to have them all in the frame at the same time.
And it's really varied. It's constantly throwing up new challenges. No matter how long you've been doing it, someone will always come up with an idea that you really have to think about. How am I going to achieve this? How am I going to make this look really stunning?
Quick, instant problem solving in collaboration with others, with the director and the gaffer and your focus puller and the art director. And that's the most satisfying thing of all, I think, when you're on set. Tools of my trade, my number 1 will be my light meter. I use this to measure light and generally work out how I might expose the video or the film.
Digital cameras have histograms, waveforms, false colour, a variety of other tools you can use to gauge your exposure.
When the concept is quite strong or quite simple in terms of its execution, you want to make sure that you keep the lighting quite simple. You don't want to ever do anything too flashy. It's really about what the artist does or the talent you've got in front, the actors or the actresses. I
started off as a runner, then I learnt to be a clapper loader, and then I learnt to be a focus puller, and then I learnt to be a director of photography. Lots of people go to film school, but I think it's very worthwhile being part of the camera team. Like most directors of photography have a team of people that they work with, and working under other directors of photography as an assistant, you get to learn their lighting style, you get to learn a lot about tricks and clever things that you can do, ways of solving problems and ways of dealing with situations that you might be faced with. Like many people in the video industry, certainly my contemporaries, we all left art school around the same time. So I did a foundation, and then from that foundation I started taking pictures, really. That's where I discovered the darkroom. I wasn't trained, I just thought I could do it. So to run a 1,000-foot mag through a film camera and then hope for the best was quite daunting. But you'd always get an image. I worked on the James Morrison Jessie J video. We mostly shot on a rooftop, and we knew that we had this beautiful day, and we waited for the sunset, of which you get about an hour. It's all about the timing. The Top Shelf Jazz Gentlemen in Squalor one, because it's really fun, it's got great dancing in, Charleston dancers, and I felt like I created quite a strong look for that. Create something that looks quite different and it's got a kind of antique feel to it. I used a filter called an antique suede and gave it this kind of retro 20s look that went with the Charleston dancers. There's never been a better time than right now to shoot on your phone or on any kind of camera, really. The more you shoot, the more you learn, particularly, I think, from the mistakes you make.
sometimes those mistakes are the best things you'll ever shoot. But just keeping up the practice and collaboration, I think, is key as well.
Don't be afraid to start at the bottom. Don't be pissed off about starting at the bottom. I started at the bottom and I made a great cup of tea for people, and everyone I made a great cup of tea for and smiled at gave me work later on.
My advice to someone entering this competition will be, keep it simple. You don't have to set up a load of lights. Maybe just go to your hardware store and you can buy LED lights now, battery operated, and just use them. Or you can, if you're outside, you know, you've got the sun. If you're inside, then maybe think about putting a blanket on a window and, you know, light it in that way.
I like things that look really glossy and beautifully shot, but I also think that it depends on your story and what you're trying to achieve. And if you're trying to achieve something really cool that can best be achieved by shooting on a phone, and you can tell that story really well using a phone, then go ahead and do it, because you might be making something really great. So why not? Why not just go out and make something using the tools that suit that idea?